Thanks for staying with us. The program is still The Conversation on Lagos Television. Now, since President Bola Tinubu assumed office in May 2023, his administration has introduced major economic and political reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, while some supporters say that these policies are necessary steps towards economic recovery, some critics have, argued that Nigerians are facing increasing hardship. So the question is, where exactly is Nigeria's democracy heading under the current administration? And joining us on the program today to discuss this issue is a lawyer and PR consultant, Jide Ologun. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so let's begin with your general assessment of democracy under this present administration. Has it improved, declined, or nothing has changed since 2023?
Thank you very much. If you want to pick the argument for where Nigeria was, as expressed, that which was at the brink of collapse, then came in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president and commander-in-chief, and he embarked on some reforms that were intended to stabilize the ship and begin to reverse the hardship. But as we speak today, it appears that the hardship has become harsher than it was then. And this is picking the response from the people. Because I want to lay a foundation. When you talk about democracy, it's a combination of two words. And if you go to the Greek etymology, it talks about demokratia. The demo speaks about the common people, not just the people. The common people. Then the kratio means power. So, and from the 5th century BEC till the 15th century, when democracy found itself into the English space, so to say, before we even adopted, it's been the decision of the people on how to manage their affairs towards enhancing the fortunes of the people. But here we are right now. It appears not to be what we are experiencing. And I did an acronym on democracy with 9 letters of the democracy. And the D stands for development. And if you want to look at some countries that have embraced democracy and where they are, you look at Norway, which Norway has occupied a golden position for over a decade. And what do you notice about Norway? Norway has the biggest sovereign wealth in the world, about 2.2 trillion naira, that they have generated from their oil and gas revenue.
Naira or dollars?
Dollars, US dollars, that they have invested across the world. So that means for generations unborn, wealth has been preserved, the same resources we have. Then the E stands for empowerment. D for development, E for empowerment. Then you now talk about mobilization. You mobilize the people through patriotism, what you have achieved, demonstrated in leadership. Then you create opportunities, the O for the opportunities, for the people to be sustained in enjoying the good of the land. Then you now move to the R that stands for, the C stands for the contract. It's a social contract. That's why you have the people that have the sovereignty, entrusting some leaders with that power. Okay, go and represent us, make our society better. Then you now come to responsibility. And what is responsibility? Your capability to respond. Respond to the yearnings of the people. And that is what you talk about, responsive governance. Then you now talk about accountability. You are still accountable to the same people who have entrusted you with the power. And you talk about collective interest. Then finally, you talk about yield, talking about results. And that is why you look at a space like Singapore, for instance, that left Malaysia in 1965 as a poor country. But today is one of the best countries to live and work in the world, because through all the combinations of these tenets of democracy, they've been able to establish a society that can be described as a first world country. So when we talk about democracy, the standard and expectations have not changed. Then you now begin to consider how countries have adopted it, what they have done with it, whether they have sustained the tenets of democracy or they have abused democracy. And again, you test that with the results, which is that what the yield, the harvest of the democratic efforts. And where we are in Nigeria now, in comparison, for instance, with even the First Republic, when we gained independence from the colonial masters, can we say that socioeconomically that we have done well? And I leave that question on the table, So.
Okay, so let me take the question from the table. Earlier, while going through the newspaper for today, Bukola and I, and of course Joy, had a discussion around the messages of Mr. President and the Senate President telling Nigerians to sacrifice, show love, be tolerant, and continue to bear the brunt of the reforms of this administration. Come May 29 this year, Mr. President would have been 3 years in office. How would you say we have fared as a nation under him in terms of our democracy, our economic growth, and of course, we have also had off-cycle elections in some states as a country. Vis-a-vis the Electoral Act of 2026, would you say that we are actually on the path of development, or we are just where we are?
At any point in time, you are on the path of development. So I think the crucial thing is the measurement of the improvement on the path of development. And I'll be engaging our constitution now to help me with the marking scheme. If you look at section 14 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, subsection 1 says that the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state run on the basis of democracy and social justice. And subsection 2 says that sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom the government derive its powers and authorities. And the same subclause says that the security and the welfare of the citizens shall be the primary purpose of government. And so if we now benchmark that with the situation we have on ground, then we can answer that question. As we speak right now, the kidnappings that just took place in Oyo State, a teacher beheaded. I understand about 33 kings fled their palaces in Kwara State. After the Oyo State kidnapping, a palace was attacked, wives of the king taken away, and the children, part of the palace, set ablaze. Soldiers killed the attacks. Yes, we are quick to argue, and I do not dissociate myself from that argument that, it's been happening like that. Hey, this one, we are doing our best. Let me sound the warning. The Constitution is an oath that has been sworn to. In this country, and I say this respectfully, there was an alleged coup plan, and all the planners were rounded up. So citizens are asking, why is it difficult to deal with these kidnappers? It's disturbing because now these kidnappers, bandits, are making the government appear like a lame government. So you are now negotiating. We don't even know how many. I read a report. In recent time, about 2.2 trillion naira has gone into paying ransom in this country. So where are we? Where are we? So if the government could deploy intelligence to round up the coup planners, what is going on? When it started, it's the Bay region and insecurity, I use that Bay region as a code. It started in the Northeast, Maiduguri in particular, where Mohammed Yusuf around 2002 started that destructive mentality that Western education is corruption, you know. And Bay, Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, now it's in Oyo State. Oh, it was far, and we were warning. You see, so why you now, that is about insecurity. And I wish the government the best. What about welfare? As at this morning, a kilogram of gas, I read that it's now 1,400. But somebody just corrected me now that he bought it for 2,000 per kg. You see? So, and what is the minimum wage? As enacted in 2024, 70,000 naira. That 70,000 naira cannot fill the tank of my vehicle. And if I have to run about 3 vehicles in my business pool. So what is happening within the space in terms of the people? And I am suggesting, you see, I respect the political acumen of my president. But you know, sir, in this wonderful studio, I raised some issues of concern. That some of us expected that when our president said subsidy was gone, when he was on into office, oh, it's to develop, you know, build infrastructure. And we expected, yes, that there would be positive impact on the side of the people. But what happened? The governors got more enriched. Recently, I was complaining. By the grace of God, I'm a chief lieutenant of police, so I may join those who say security is everyone's business. But that is at the peripheral level. The governors collect security votes and let them bring the money. Let them share it with us so that we know all of us will now enter the bush and be pursuing bandits. It cannot be everybody's business. It's the government responsibility to secure lives and properties. If it's everybody's business, let them volunteer their VIP escorts and security. You know, the IG, the former IG gave a directive, but where's the former IG now? You know? And so if Nigeria is that safe, let all of us be at the same level. So these are issues. So that money could have been spent to make the cost of living lower, standard of living higher. It got diverted. So it was like, on the scale of perception, that you grab that money from those who collect, who were collecting it, the elite, and gave now to another group of elite. Okay. Because the president himself recently said, and I agree with him, that those who used to enjoy this fuel subsidy and the foreign exchange are the ones behind bandits. So you have their list. That's what you call intelligence. You have the list of those who were collecting the subsidy. Go after them. Donald Trump, we read about it, just killed Al-Manuki, or the second in command of the ISIS, and over about 100 ISIS operators in Nigeria. Why should Nigeria become the base for ISIS? When this had started under Buhari and about grazing route, the Ghanaian president told the security agents, you fire them at first sight. People are coming to kill you and you are waiting for command. Are they terrorizing Ghana? At the time I read, Miyetti Allah was appealing to Buhari to talk to Benin Republic to allow them graze and things like that. I mean, we need to wake up.
So our situation is complex.
It's more than complex. It's hydra-headed.
Okay,
so, but we know the solutions. I keep saying it. I'm rolling out some now. American government came up with a list of suspected sponsors of Boko Haram. Dubai arrested 6, prosecuted them, jailed all of them, released intelligence report to us about their cartel and how they function. Those who were sponsoring Boko Haram all the way from Dubai. The government, under former President Muhammad Buhari, through the minister, Lai Mohammed, said the government has recognized about 400 of sponsors of Boko Haram. Who are they? Are they ghosts? They are also the ones behind illegal mining. Honorable Dele Alake said powerful people are behind illegal mining. Who are the powerful people? Is it Jide Ologun? Is it you? Is it Yuma? Who are they?
Okay, so let's talk.
Oil theft also. They are there stealing the crude oil.
Let's talk about how strong Nigeria's democratic institutions are today. I'm talking about the National Assembly and the judiciary, and of course we have the electoral system too, because these institutions, they play a very vital role in ensuring that all the policies of the government are implemented. So how well are they thriving in our current democracy?
On their own scale, they are thriving well, you know.
Let's start with the National Assembly, because some people have, called them stamp and rubber stamp lawmakers. So let's start with National Assembly first.
You put me on a very hot seat this morning. I'll try my best. Let me start from the recent one, when Akpabio and some of his friends, as the President of the Senate, attempted to amend the rules of the House to create privileges and sustain privileges. And Senator Shomole Russo, no, why can't they all express the same adrenaline and say, Mr. President, we are here to make laws? And let me bring that in. According to Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, for peace, orderliness, and good government in Nigeria, that please go and deal with this insecurity. We give you 48 hours or even 34 days. Otherwise, we shut down the National Assembly. Because the National Assembly, the legislative arm, is the unique feature in democracy. You don't have it under military government. You see? So, and their role is to, and that is why the National Assembly comes before the executive in the Constitution, Section 4. Is Section 5 that empowers the president with the executive power. Then Section 6, the judiciary to interpret. But what do we see now? I mean, I think I've mentioned it this morning. Our total indebtedness now is about 159 trillion naira. It's this same National Assembly that we approve it. Right now, under the international development arm of the World Bank, Nigeria is the third largest debtor of about, I think, 18.5 billion US dollars, next to Bangladesh and Pakistan. So has that money reflected in the lifestyle of the citizens when we still have about 140 million citizens within the poverty bracket? You see, so all you need to do is go out there, go and see Nigerians. I mean, I may challenge us maybe around 4:30, 5 in the evening, drive on Obakran Way in Ikeja, Lagos, see people trekking home. You see? And now, today is celebration for the Muslims. How much is a ram? About 1.5 million for the robust one. And the ones that are not so robust, maybe about 700,000, 400,000. Yes. And so if that means a minimum wage earner is off the radar of celebrating.
Okay.
Exactly.
You have said so much about...
You talked about, sorry, Jibo, you talked about National Assembly.
Okay.
He's yet to talk about judiciary and the electoral system, INEC, as we move towards the 2027 elections.
Even the judiciary has found it difficult to jump out of the boat of losing people's confidence. I mean, even within the system, the president of NBA came out to make some allegations. We read about it. Well, I think they are beginning to wake up now in that sector. It's my constituency too. If you see now the decision of the High Court that INEC cannot choke the parties by dictating the timetable. Yes, you can monitor, they can submit data to you, their candidates, you can monitor notice of the conduct of their primaries, but you cannot choke them in, though INEC is going to appeal against it. And we saw one that recently just came out, somebody saying good luck cannot contest again and things like that. So the judiciary must occupy that space of trust, justice. What Lord Heward said is that justice should not only be done, but clearly seen to have been done. So all those adjournments, sine die, and all those, maintaining status quo, added the whatever, all those grammatic, let's come together to establish justice in this country. And I'm glad there are some people who just go to court now for frivolous, vexatious matters are being slammed with heavy fines. Because At the end of the day, we are all affected. I was discussing somewhere, sir, is there a market I can go to? And I will get there and say, oh, I'm a pastor in the Pentecostal church. Therefore, reduce price for me. No! We all go to the same market. It's either maybe you're in the political space and you have that money so well, and the middle class is almost gone, and you can do anything you like, buy any. But for the common people, you go to the market, you subscribe to the atmosphere of that market. You see, so these are issues. What all of us should be doing is to ensure that section 14 of the Nigerian Constitution that says that the state shall be managed on the scale of democracy and social justice. What's the meaning of social justice? Equality is a tenet in democracy. We are all equal before the law. We should have equal opportunities to prosper. You know, so far so good, and that is the truth. We have not done well. We have not. We can improve. Maybe today, if we just sit down and face the reality. It's a different thing ruling out figures and data and things like that just to win elections. But there's a different thing from what is on ground. And that's why in public relations, you talk about image, you talk about reputation. You see, you can paint any image, but who exactly are you? What is going on? What are the realities? And that's why we say you cannot carve a rotten wood. But again, on the scale of counsel, the Chinese say the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. Okay.
So talking about now, Bukola did say earlier that another round of election is around in the country. Of course, you have talked about governments, the National Assembly, institutions that are meant to make our democracy better. But what about the people themselves? Earlier on the show, we actually appealed to Nigerians, telling them not to mortgage their votes for rice or bread in 2027. But the people themselves, of course, they are part of the definition of democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But the people themselves, do they know what they want? And what do you make of the just concluded primaries of some political parties?
So you have two questions in one.
You know, the primaries, it's a bouquet. In some areas, yeah, credible, peaceful, but in some areas, violent, distorted, with some audiovisual reports released, counting from 120 to 2,000 and inviting someone to come and continue, and that person moves to 3,000. You see, that's what we are talking about. That is not democracy. That is not allowing free and fair election. That is not citizens' participation. You should be able to tell the members of the party, go out there, choose your leader, bring the person you have chosen. But now we've come to the point of endorsement. Whether you like it or not, I understand in Rivers State, Fubara is not going, not because the people are saying they cannot go, because there's an agreement between him and... So all these politicians, they've created what some people claim to be politocracy. Government of the politicians, that the politicians for the people. Where is the place of the people? And you are talking about the people. It's up to the people. But let me say this. In an environment of poverty, crisis is inevitable. You can reject, so I can, by the grace of God, I can reject some offers. You know, yes, I'm not desperate. I'm not striving for survival. You know what I mean? But it's not the same. Go out there. We understand during this primary, some people, when they shared the money, some got 700 naira. And some, you know, muscular ones, maybe 5,000 naira.
Cannot buy bread.
You are the one saying that. You see, let me say this. I hope our leaders are watching. And then please, my heart is clear. I love this country and I love prosperity because that is the purpose of God for humanity. I was in Victoria Island yesterday, and I hope Lagos State is listening to me. Go out there now. Come and see all these boys and girls in the format of Almanjiri, just running around, knocking on glass doors. We need to be sensitive to our society. I know that quite a number of our leaders drive around in tinted glasses, but from that tinted glass, you can still see what is going on outside. can still see what is Human Development Index. You can see the desperation now. Battle. I must go. You can see incumbent senators. Some did not even show up for the primaries. You know?
And yet they won.
Yeah. In Plateau State, somebody was killed. In part of some places we know that they don't want to mention names, they were throwing stones. You see all the threats. Why? I've said why. Because the benefits in that circle are outrageous. Outrageous. You know? So, and that is why some of us believe that we are not yet prepared for democracy, even though we have advanced so much in politocracy. We've done so well with politocracy, and but that aspect of democracy that should deliver prosperity to the common people, we still have a long journey to go, you know.
Okay, so what's your final words as we allow you to go, especially as we look ahead to 2027? What's your final words?
My final word is that you may not so well be remembered for how many times you have won elections, but how you have enhanced the fortunes of the people. And as a Christian, I have a guiding rule, which is Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Genesis 21, chapter 1, 28 says, God bless man. 27 says he made man in his own image, in his own likeness, male and female. He blessed them, he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. So can we say now that we are replenishing Nigeria? I mean, the poverty is enormous. People are murmuring. And finally, the word of God says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. I don't want to complete it. They can go and check it. So my wish is that people will rejoice under you. That's what you'll be remembered for. I mean, it's as simple as that. You may be rejoicing, you may be secure, but what about the people that are there for you to lead?
Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the program, The Conversation today. We have been speaking with a lawyer and PR consultant, Jide Ologun, on the topic Nigeria's democracy under Tinubu's administration. From all he said, it is clear that democracy goes beyond elections. It is about good governance, accountability, rule of law, and economic stability. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, Joy will continue with the conversation. Stay with us.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.